what is that word we use? Storyboard. You draw storyboard. It's like scenes. First scene, second scene, third scene, fourth scene. You use storyboard to give to marketing department, to sales department, to show how user interface will look. They will have few opinions, so you give them 2 to 3 options. Like this style, this is how storyboard go. This look page 1, 2, 3, 4. Another style, this is how the storyboard go, page 1, 2, 3. So even though it is very compared to getting rules to work, compared to getting a model to be built, user experience is considered not very important. But when you want to put on website, then very important, because good website attract more customers. So it is very important to get input from various people early. So if anybody have opinions, say, I don't like this design, you ask how you like design to be. So it is important in early part of project to ask people how to design. Suggestion, give suggestion how to design page. So experience is different from UI. User interface is just the GUI, many pages, one page after one page after one page. But user experience is you want to make sure user don't have to click in many places. One click, do lots of things. That is good experience for customer. The way you present information, top to down or left to right, also important. Customer, you want to give customer view of everything. So you don't put too many items on web page and it become very crowded and customer have to go look top down, left, right. That is bad customer user experience. So you want to make sure you the page laid out so customer can see everything and don't have to turn left, right, back, up many times. So you know how I said storyboard? I meant to say wireframes. In design terms, wireframe means how web page will look. Rough design. Somebody take on a piece of paper, draw a thing, something here, and you come up with design of how page will look. Early stage, it doesn't have to be right color like this, but you take down notes. You discuss, you find from various people, and you design. You want to give, if you have many roles in organization, such as some people can only see products, some people can choose products, some people can delete products. You want to give different roles, different views. And different view means you can give different design for each person. That is also possible. And when you do design, you want to get opinion from people who are interested in design. So you can have best idea put forward. Oh, thank you. So just a little example. I want to say again, please don't use configuration on mobile phone. You will spoil your eyes. For mobile device, best to use tablets. So more screen size to work with. So it's just an example slide to show that it is available on a variety of screen sizes. So this is how typical wireframe look. See, nothing very advanced, just some boxes. It clearly show, okay, on page 1, we will have a section for engine and gearbox. Inside engine gearbox, we will show people can choose what trim, what engine, what gearbox, and below there will be summary list. On this page, you choose this for trim, you choose this for engine, you choose this for gearbox. Everything complete, and then user get to go to page 2. In page 2, you have a page for car inside, what seat and everything. So the color of a car, such as what paint, black or maroon, or interior if you want it to be cloth or leather, and wheel size if you want to have big alloys wheels or small alloy wheels. So customer make a selection, and below a short summary saying for body you choose this design, for interior you choose this selection, for wheel you choose this, and it continues. So each page just shows how the information is going to flow from one page to another. Final page, full summary of everything you selected. If you don't like something, you always go back to previous page and change selection. Then come back to final page, you see how your selection changed and your product also changed. If you get, when you discuss for user experience, you present this wireframe, everybody happy, you use this wireframe to design your page. To say, okay, I have navigation, I will have 4 pages in navigation. My first page will have these entities, second page will have these entities, third and fourth, so on. And then you decide what style you want to give. If your company, Info Design, have your website, what special color you have, you can use that theme, CSS. Your DAS, you're from DAS? No, you're from DAS. You're from DAS. Sorry. You know what I mean? Info Design have its own style colors. You can use those colors for your pages and navigation. DAS have its own website. You use specific colors. You can use those colors and those styles for your pages and navigation. Also, when you're designing pages, you should know your model. You need to know your model. What is my product? What are the different components that make that product? And which page is right place to put component? Is it right if you put wheels in engine gearbox? No, makes sense, right? It's the wrong section. So, so when you design, think about how you're going to design car. In most car websites, first they ask you what engine you want, what gearbox you want. When you're happy with that, they show you inside of the car what body you want. You want leather seats, leather steering wheel, and then they show you, oh, okay, basic car is now ready. You want extras, like I want big, powerful headlamps or sunroof. Those are all additional options, special options, not ordinary with car, not local with car. When you make all selections, your final page is your complete product. So follow that method to design your web page. What information fit on one page, then everything finish on first page, then go to second page. Fill in whatever in second page, and second page finish, go to third page, and so on. All of you saw how to use application builder because you already have a components page. You went to application builder, you created a new application, You bind that application to your model. So now you have a data source for your application. Then you add a page to your application, and inside page you go to design, and you drag columns, and inside columns you put radio button, drop down box, hierarchy control, and you bind it to entities, and you created your first page. So remember how I told you that the relationship is one side can have many models, one or many models, and each application must have at least one model, but application can also have multiple models. So relationship between site and model, one to many. Relationship between application model, also one to many. One application can have many pages, and each page you can edit, you can delete, you can preview page to see if it is correct, and many pages you can group together using navigation. Inside navigation you add your pages, you say I want this page to be number 1, this page to be number 2, and you can order them. Sometimes you will need to use custom controls. I will show you later on what custom controls. Those are advanced topics. We finish workshops first, then we discuss. Custom control are like radio drop-down list. But if standard controls don't give you everything, then developer need to write special controls to do special things. We call those controls custom controls. I show you some. I wrote for your benefit. I show you. And sometimes in application builder, we use also plugins that do integration with the CRM, with the Dynamics, with the sales portal to bring price. So it is possible you can use plugins to call methods to get price from other systems. We wrote decision rules which get price from same system. But we can also write decision rules that have methods to call other systems and get price. This is very useful when you have prices in product catalog. So remember, I always say, if you have product catalog in one place, keep it there. No need to duplicate. Lot of effort, because if product catalog change there, you got to change here as well. So if you make all change, only one system need to be updated. So that means you pull price from product catalog, and for that you need to write some extra methods that will call other systems. Again, that is very technical concept for those who do technical work. I show you after our workshop. You all saw how to create an application. Always check in and publish your work before doing anything in application builder. Otherwise, any new entities you create, not show. Why? Because you never published. Must always check in and must always publish before doing any work on application builder. So, in rule builder first, we check in model, we publish. In application builder, if there is no application, you create a new application. You create the data source, you bind it to your model, you create pages, you create navigation for page. We already saw how to create a page. When we edit that page, we get into page designer mode. So this is page designer canvas. We take the layout columns from the grid layout section, we drag and drop, and we put controls in there and we bind them to entities. Give your pages unique name, just like you give unique name for entities, give unique name for pages. Make your page names also meaningful, not page 1, page 2, page 3, that don't tell anybody anything. Cincom user interface always built on 12 column grid layout. You remember, when you go to grid layout, you get 1 12 row or 1 row of 2 6 by 6 column rows, or you get 1 row with 3 by 4 columns, or the same row with 4 3 columns. So this is useful because this is built on the overall UI architecture built on Bootstrap. Anybody here of Bootstrap? Yes, Bootstrap. Bootstrap, very responsive, which means you do design for one device, you bring across to other devices and it change layout according to the size of that device. So it is standard for what you call responsive web layout. That means depending on which device you're looking at your user interface, it will change the look and feel. So very less effort required. You write just one, only have one CSS, and you tailor make it for variety of screen sizes. There are some other containers as well. 3 types of containers. One is expander. Expander is like it's like a horizontal as a vertical tab. When something want to show, it expands. If nothing to show, it collapses. Very useful when you want to place lot of controls on one screen, but you don't want to show everything. That means if in car example, you have lot of options for engine, say 20 options. So every line one option. So screen size become very big. If screen size become very big, customer need to scroll down. We want to avoid that. How we avoid that? We take engine entity, we put into an expander. We put into expander and we set it to collapse mode. And then we write a rule which say if previous entity is, so I'll show you. In a page, this is a page. Yeah. You're choosing types. In a car, this is car application. You're choosing type. It can be Prius, you get Prius, Toyota Prius here. Hybrid car, running on, I don't know what it runs on, running on whatever. But it uses less petrol, so very good for environment. You choose Prius, you choose that small car, what was it called? What is smallest Toyota car?
Beats.
With that one. Or you choose Lexus, all that is in here. Okay, type. Now you have engine, which is so many engines going down, right? Very inconvenient for customer to look up and down. So what we do, we put into an expander and we hide the engine entity inside expander. And we say, if type is selected, expand this. So user click on drop down, choose Prius, boom, this expands. And you get what engine options you can have for Prius. So out of 20 options, you get to see 5. So what that mean? That mean you can use you can make use of your web page intelligently by restricting how much to show and only show when something selected. So that give customer a good user experience. No need to scroll up and down. You only now see engine because customer choose an engine. Choose a car type. Otherwise, always hidden. That is what expander is used. So see, collapsible container. By default, it is set to expanded, where you can collapse it. And you can set it to be visible also. That means, in some cases, this will not be shown, hidden. If this selected, boom, visible and expanded. Also possible. You can do many things like that in with expanders. Form also, like you know how on a page you have customer form. You take down details of customers and you hit submit, and it does something in the background like add customer details to an Excel spreadsheet and things like that. You can do that using a form. Group box, this is a group box here. See this? Grouping. Very pretty, you know, for all your monitors. So for your service, for your entity, you give a group box. That means it will come with a nice bar like that. Also good to see for customer experience. Page links. Now this is very useful. If you want to have header and footer for your pages, why create header every time for every page? Why create footer for every page? One page for header, one page for footer. And then all other pages, you reference those 2 pages as links. So you get header and footer. It's like in Word documents. You only create header and footer once. Then every other page always have header, always have footer. Same thing for web page. So best to use for repeating header, and if you want to use on other pages. These are some standard controls you get. Static image, an image, some static image, like some companies' logo, not change. Or Info Design's logo, not change. Label, name of your company, not change. For those sorts of things, use static. What does static mean? Static means no change. So use. For things that will, for images, for text that will not change. URL, you put as hyperlink to URL. If you have, say, if you want to say, please watch video here, and you have YouTube video of your company and what it does on YouTube, you provide hyperlink to YouTube video. That is what this URL control helps with. Same thing, web page. Now, if you want to display external web page in your application, you use web page control. It then display that web page inside an iframe. Save application and close application, they are buttons that will help with the integration part. You do all your configuration for product and you are happy with configuration, you're happy with final product, you hit save. In the background, the integration piece start to work. Methods are running, talking to other systems, taking information and putting back into the ERP system. That is what save is. Close is, okay, I done everything, I don't need any more, close the application. That is all. Keep alive. Now, sometimes, generally with sessions, after 20 minutes of inactivity, session timeout. You use keep alive, it keep alive forever. Recommended not to do that, but anyways. Clear page and clear pages are. You have 5 pages in your application. You make selection, 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 selection. You're not happy, you want to start from the beginning. You hit clear all pages, all your selections clear. So like you're starting from beginning. But if you're on current page and you don't like selections you made on that page, use the clear page. So clear page for the current page, clear all pages to clear all the pages in application. Make sense? Yes? We already saw how to use some Guru controls. You use combo box in your first application for product line, was it? What was it? Product line? You also use radio buttons for all your entities now. There are some other controls as well. Date to help you date picker. Button, as you know, you can bind to click events. Checkbox, if you want to show tick yes or no. Image, same as static image, but this image different. This image, you can do intelligent things to change what happens when you click on that image. You know, you can do special events with that image. Same with label, you can do special things to change the text. List box is like combo box. Numeric text box is like text box, but you can enter only numbers. In numeric text box, you can choose how many decimal places to have, what currency to put, those sorts of things. Radio button, many of you using, well, all of you using in your application. Text area is like having big text box. You put in lots of comments, allow you to capture extra information or write extra information. Text box, as I said, just one line of text for name, first name, last name, description, etc. Now, constrained domain and constrained domains are very interesting controls. If you don't want to release your application for production immediately, but at the same time you want to test, is my constraint rule working or not? You can use constraint domain. So you can make a quick mock application and use the constraint domain controls to see, is my based on that Amazon website example I give you, is my product constraint rule working? Is my shipping constraint rule working? You can use that. So for that, you don't need to put on the main application. You can just create a mock application and say, Kawata-san's test application, I want to test these constraint rules. You use those controls to test your constraint rules. So only useful for testing, last two controls, but don't use on main application, please. Actually, I think my personal opinion is, I think we should, I will make recommendation to take these two controls out and put into a category called testing controls. So it is obvious. See, right now they're all in guru controls. But since we know these two are only good for testing, better to put them into another category of testing controls, no? Then you know when to use and when not to use. Because they are not they're not useful for production. You don't want people to test things on production. That's why. Every control have all these properties. If you see red property, you must fill in. You made that mistake beginning. Always must have name for control. Always must have data source for control. Always must bind to entity for control. And you must choose whether it is a value or description you want. Sometimes it will let you save the page if you don't fill in something, but when you try to launch web page, you get error. So first place to look, why error? Have a look and see if in your red properties you forget to fill something. Black properties, they are optional. If you choose to fill them, you fill them. If you don't want, you don't want. Nothing. No tragedy. It will not make any difference. Sometimes you saw in exercise 3, was it? We said bike type entity will have a component default values decision rule executed every time a selection is made. On update is where you will bind hierarchy or decision rule when you want to see how, if I choose this bike type, what happens? If I choose that bike type, what happens? Sometimes it is also possible to write JavaScript to do special things. For example, if you want to put validation against a text box and say a maximum only 20 characters, you write JavaScript in the background. So if somebody keep typing and try to tab, boom, you get message saying no, maximum 20. You can write special methods in JavaScript method, on-chain JavaScript. Depends. Some choose to do, some choose not to do. This is your choice. Is visible and is enabled are very, very powerful and useful. You remember I give you example of expander. Remember how I said you can set expander to be visible or not, or you can set it to be enabled or not. That means is visible will help you with this. When page launch, engine not visible at all. Yes? If I say when is engine visible, type, if type is selected, then engine is visible. Yes? So I select an engine type, boom, engine becomes visible. That is what is visible does. Another way you can do is you set is enabled to false. That means both type and engine is visible, but you cannot make any selection on engine. It's disabled. When is it enabled? When a type is selected. Yes, if type is selected, engine can go from disabled to enabled, now available for selection. So depending on how you want to design your GUI or GUI, you can do is visible or is selected or is enabled. And visible, selected, always true, false. There is no other value. It can be true or false. It can be true or false of some other entity. But always yes, no, true, false. Nothing else. We also saw how to use hierarchy summary control. What did I say? Hierarchy summary control is like a special custom control which help you to see your hierarchy in complete group. It can be in the form of a grid, but in training it's like a tree with branches. But there are a lot of custom controls that you can show. Custom controls are when the standard controls that are given with product is not enough for you. You want to have special look and feel, special things, expand, collapse, fancy JavaScript like animation sort of thing. And for those sorts of things, custom control is useful. Mostly written in jQuery. Well, not mostly, always written in jQuery. Package it, send it, and you can distribute your custom control to share. So once you create your custom control and you upload it, it is available for all applications, not just applications for one site. If Kawata-san writes a custom control, you can use it. Yama-san can use it. Yokokawa-san can use it. Sasaki-san can use it. Mara-san can use it. Murakawa-san can use it. Everybody use it. So write once, use many times.
Can we create custom control from menu or
No. We have to create from I show you.
script?
Where is it? Can somebody please tell me what that says? I know it is complaining, that's all I can say. Settings, control design. This is where you write all your custom controls. So when you write a control, you write control using JavaScript. Once you're ready, you say, I want to add meta control. Might give my custom control name, what order I want to display. Sometimes if you want to give icon for your control, you can upload icon picture, otherwise not necessary. You can enter, this is a test control. Display order, I give 4. That means it will be the 4th control or the 3rd control from the list. So I add. So now I've got meta controls here. By default, all your controls will have all these properties. See these controls, these properties you cannot change. Because remember, every control must have type, must have ID, must have data source, must have entity. Other things, if you want, you can change. This is to add, this to edit, and this to delete. So once you do that, you upload JavaScript file. Wherever it is, .js file. And your custom control is ready. So then, when you go into application, meta control. You can all see meta control now available. But of course, meta control now won't work because there is no JavaScript. When I put JavaScript up there, it will work. I show you some examples of JavaScript that I write. So we also find how to create navigation. Navigation is just next to page. Add navigation. Give it a navigation. Remember I said 3 different designs. left menu, top menu, tab sheet. Up to you what you want to do. But tab sheet looks pretty. So now you have navigation. So when you click on navigation, right now it is empty. You're going to add pages to navigation. So one navigation have many pages. So you just click on navigation, all your pages will be displayed. And you will do that in your exercise. No, sorry. What are some other considerations? Now, right now, as we're seeing our page very plain, no color, no nothing. How we make it pretty? We make pretty using CSS or style sheets. Every application have some extra tabs like customization. Customization is where you put plugin code for integration with other systems. Custom files is where you can put special files to do special things. Remember I said you can write JavaScript to do form validation, like more than 20 characters invalid. So in custom files, each tab has special place. If you want to add styles files, go to CSS folder. If you want to add images, put them up in image folder. You can add PNG, JPEG, GIF. What else? Is that all? TIFF, yes. All image related formats. Go into image folder. Localization. This is if you want to have special files for your application to be displayed in other languages, like Japanese, you put up there. Script folders, this is where JavaScript, only JavaScript.
Only JavaScript.
.js, nothing else. You try to put .vb, no, not allowed. Only .js. So, scripts go in script folder, localization file go in localization folder, style sheet go in CSS folder, images go in image folder. These place make ready for beauty for your GUI to make user interface pretty. Okay? So for branding and for styling, CSS is very useful. Also for images, you want to have one big library of your images for your application. You upload to image. Remember, some image can be static, so you use static controls. Some images you want to do special things, like you can make them clickable or they can change after a period of time. You use the standard image control. That means automatically. So when you export application from development server to UAT test server, you don't need to do one by one. Whole package come across. I show you. You happy with your application? You export. Yes? When you export, you get a folder like this. See? All your page have XML format. Your page will come across. If you have images, there will be image directory and images will come across. If you have scripts, there will be scripts folder. Your scripts will be inside that. If you have CSS, you will have CSS folder. That will also come across. So when you want to distribute your application or transfer from one server to another, just export, very simple. But don't forget, you must also export model. So whenever you want to move from one server to another, actually you deploy and it will bring both the model and application together. But if you want to give to someone else to test, then just take to just like you export application as well. So when you export model by .rbmx, which is a special kind of XML, will be downloaded. So this is how it will look. It will first say, oh, I have 30 entities, you want me to, and I say yes. I finish. Okay. Yes? I think this is 12:02 p.m. This is operating on Sydney time. So when Kawata-san want to give his work to Yama-san, that's it. You take these two words, send by email, finished. Then he import. How you import? You go into rule builder, you import. So to import my model, where is it? Bike model, click and it will add. Yes. Same way, you can import application. Will import. So very easy to do that. Also with JavaScript, same thing. If you want to add special JavaScript, you upload the JavaScript folder. And for localization, you put the localization folder. So you see, slowly we are getting to all touch points. We had site has models, model has entities, entity have structure, entities created in the data library, some created both only at model. All entities have structure, we do mappings, we bring them into our model, we write decision rule against entities, some decision rules do actions, some decision rules return results, some decision rules do calculations, some decision rule do setting values. We save them, we do put a hierarchy, we group all our entities together. We also bind decision rule in designer, page designer against entity to do runtime binding. And we create a simple page, make selections, then we see rules being executed. Now what we're going to do, we are going to make few more pages. Then we're going to make navigation. We include the page into navigation. We order them so we can show navigation which have many pages. That's what time is it? It's lunchtime.
It's okay.
Yeah, we'll do workshop 5 after lunch.